tell us about a special anubhuti that you had. And I can see some beautiful picture here.
Yep, that's the Om in Nivasa. Uh,
Wow, what a
so,
beautiful.
little story behind this.
Yeah, we are curious to know because our audience always wants to know these kind of stories.
In 2010, Guru Purnima Swamiji had announced it's 10 years now. My children are grown up and I'm handing over the administration to them, and I will do more of propagating, spreading Samarpan, the spiritual aspect. And I'm going to form a 5-member team to guide the children, a systems team or a management team, as he called. And the moment he said that, I was not in summer. I was in Samarpan for less than 1.5 years at that
Right.
point in time. A voice inside me gave me 3 names:
Wow.
Ramnath Kamath, Anant Khamankar, and myself. At that point, I had not even met Pawan Kankani. I just kept it to myself. I didn't say anything. And then in 2012, sometime again in September, October, Ramnath calls me and asks me, "Are you sitting or standing? Where are you?" I said, "I'm in office. I'm sitting. Why?" "No, no. If you're standing, please sit down. Otherwise, you'll fall," or something to that effect.
What is this? Good news or bad news? Tell me.
So he said, "Swamiji has called you." I said, "Why?" He says, "No, he's forming this systems team, management team, and he wants you to be on it." I said, "Oh," I said, "I asked Ramnath, are you in that team? Is Khamankar is also there?" He says, "Yes, how do you know?" I said, "I've known since 2010.
Wow.
So I wasn't really surprised. And then we drove down to Nivasa. There was this Mahadhyan out there, and the meeting with Swamiji was after the next day after the Mahadhyan.
Wow.
So we had gone to Sant Jnaneshwar's this thing.
Arandi.
Not Alandi, there near Alandi there is a Kavireshwar temple where pillar on which Sant Jnaneshwar used to rest his back and ride the Jnaneshwari. That pillar is there in that temple.
Wow.
So we had
Must have
gone
amazing
there.
vibrations there.
So we had gone there, and the temple was empty. And Khamankar, Ramnath, myself, Praveen Purav, Sumangala, we went inside and sat in there, and we had gone into meditation. It was empty. We were lost, and suddenly a whole rush of people started coming, and we got out. And people had told us that you need to meditate near the lake behind the school. It's at sunset, it is very nice. So we were rushing back for this, and we reached the hostel, the dormitory, where Ramnath insisted he wanted to have a bath.
Hmm.
And he went for a bath. And by the time he came out, the sun had set.
Wow.
We were telling, I was continuously after Ramnath, "Arey, Ramnath, don't have a bath. Come." "No, no, I want to have a bath." Ramnath gets something in his mind, he wants to do it, he's going to do it. No, he's not going to listen to anybody. So he went ahead and had his bath, and by the time the sun had set and it was dusk,
Uh-huh.
means we were literally walking towards the lake in the dark.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Once we reached the banks of the lake, Ramnath suddenly said, "Arey, ye lali chha rahi hai. The sun is, the sky is turning red." Within 2-3 minutes, this massive Om came on screen. It was
Beautiful.
like the sky was painted red. A Om, a Trishul, and we sat down and we decided. And actually, in the photograph, it's not come, but when we were actually sitting there, it was like a Om in the sky and a Om in the reflection of the calm waters.
Right.
It was
Right.
a double Om. It was amazingly beautiful. And Mr.
Right.
And Anand Khamankar had got a DSLR for his 50th birthday, and he was busy taking photos. And
Wow.
I was sitting there and praying for to see Swamiji's image in the water.
Wow.
And as the photographs, after all this happened, we got up and we were looking at what photos Khamankar had taken. In one of the photos, the Swamiji's Ardha Swarup, which is there on the locket, it
Uh-huh.
was clearly visible in the water.
Yeah.
It
For
was
those of you who don't know, just trying to show, this is the one in the locket.
so, but it got deleted. It was probably meant just for us. And then the
Yes.
next day we went to have our meeting with Swamiji.
What
And
a beautiful experience. What a beautiful, amazing experience. It is like from the dusk to colorful sky, and from the colorful sky to creation of Om. And then from the Om, you are seeing the Swamiji's face. And the way Rasikaji has selected this another picture of Swamiji as if he is painting that Om, he's painting that image in the sky for you guys.
no,
What a beautiful anubhuti.
there was divine energy. The energy is flowing now also. It is like crazy, tremendous
Right.
energy. It was absolute divine indication.
Absolutely, absolutely. As Swamiji mentioned also in his pravachan, that when he was walking with some sadhak in 2000 on the Dandi shore, 1999 or 2000, on the Dandi shore, he saw the Om for the first time. And that is the time he said that
This is
the
the
ashram
land.
will happen only in Dandi.
Correct.
So these symbols are not just suddenly happening. It is Guru energy coming and guiding us and blessing us and trying to communicate with us. That is the way we should always take and interpret such anubhutis or experiences. I heard in our personal conversation before also that once you were in the Mumbai, Nariman Point or some area with Swamiji and Shaswatiji, and you had beautiful anubhuti at that time also. If you would like to share with our audience.
Just prior to Swamiji's trip to Germany, I think this was 2018. We were Swamiji had come to Mumbai for the visa, and whenever Swamiji comes to Mumbai, he stays close to my house. So I've been blessed with the Guru Seva of taking Swamiji for his morning walk. So and
Which part of Mumbai do you live? Just for the audience to know.
I stay at Matunga Road, that is between Mahim and Dadar,
Acha, acha.
opposite the railway lines. I'm close to Ujwala Didi's house, and Ujwala Didi prefers me
Right.
to take Swamiji because I bring him back on time. Other people just
Yeah. I remember Sankar ki lassi from the Dadar.
yeah, Shankar Kalasi. So we took Swamiji, means before Shaswati came, 3 days prior to that, Swamiji was already in Mumbai, so we were going every day, and the mornings used to be very pleasant. It was, I think, April, May. It used to be 6 in the morning. The walk used to start, and 7:30 I used to drop Swamiji back. I used to pick him up at 5:30 in the morning on the dot. You know how particular Swamiji is on time, so you reach there 2 minutes in advance, and he's there waiting. All car has come, okay, let's go. So we went off. Then that day Shaswati ji was there for a couple of days. And on that day, when we went and to Nariman Point, parked the car, got out of the AC, and a huge humidity hit us in the face. It was warm and sticky.
Uh-huh.
Means it was immediately obvious that today's was not like the earlier days.
Yeah.
So we
Real Bombay heat.
yeah, and at 6 in the morning, a little unexpected,
Right. Right.
but that was it. And we got onto the walkway, and Swamiji said in Marathi, "It's today it's hot." So I said, "Swamiji, yes, Swamiji, it's much hotter than yesterday. Yesterday was cool. Today it's hot." And Shaswati said it's also humid or something to that effect. So Swami said okay and started walking. And we walked by as along with him on either side. After his 3 kilometer, 20-25 minute walk, He stopped at his usual place, and again he said, "I'm sweating.
Uh-huh.
It's hot." And both Shashu and I, like parrots, repeated, "Yes, yes, it's humid, it's hot, hotter than blah blah blah." I said, "Okay, okay, okay, let's sit down." So Swamiji sat down on the kattha, on the balustrade out there, and I sat next to him. It was like Swamiji, me, and Shashu here.
Uh-huh.
And then Swamiji put out his hand like this, palms facing the horizon. The moment he did that, see, energy is flowing again. Every time I narrate this, it starts coming. I had heard a lot of stories from other sadhaks about what Swamiji does with nature.
Uh-huh. Especially during the retreat.
Yeah, and from Swamiji's security guards, I've heard so many stories. Unbelievable.
Wow.
And the moment he put his hand, about 20 seconds later, there was a cold gush of breeze. A few seconds later, another. A few seconds later, about maybe 25-30 seconds, Swamiji put his hand down and said, "Atta sagda thik zala." The moment he
Wow.
said, in for Denny's, "Atta sagda thik zala" means now it's all okay. And the moment he said that, it was like an air conditioner had been switched on in the atmosphere.
Right.
The entire environment became cold. And
Wow.
not just cold, it was cool breeze, continuous, nirantar beh raha tha.
So from such a warm, humid environment, suddenly it changed into the cool breeze.
That absolute cool breeze continuously till we were there. It was mind blowing. And then he sat down for meditation. He shut his eyes, and automatically Shashu and I stopped our chatter.
Uh-huh.
And that experience which I got was his aura expanding, and you're getting enveloped in a feeling of such amazingly beautiful love energy. Means you were like enveloped in a cocoon.
Absolutely.
It was amazing.
Wow. Wow. That is another beautiful, amazing anubhuti that you shared with us. And people are feeling chill while you are talking all this and showing their reverence for the divine energy of Swamiji. I want to share with the audience something similar that happened, not directly with me, but with Mr. Kumar Malde, that he used to repeat a lot. Uh, in his anubhutis while we were in Montreal. So Swamiji used to go like this early morning, 6 o'clock, with him near our house in the park on Gouin Boulevard in Montreal. Gouin Boulevard has the Saint Laurent River passing by, and it's a beautiful park. So Kumar Bhai used to bring Swamiji, and they used to go for walk. And he says that not just once, not just twice, but almost every day it happens so that Swamiji will sit down on a stone that he selected, that I'm going to meditate here and sit down and relax. Basically, Swamiji need to open up his aura and merge into the nature when he is too busy visiting different places and being in public. So he does that, and Kumar Bhai was staying away from him because Swamiji used to say that sit aside and just keep watching. And he says that suddenly, as soon as he go there, he go into the meditation, and Swamiji does like this. He raises his hand the way you were also saying, and the entire atmosphere become such a cool breeze that he says that you feel like you are being lifted exactly the same way as you are saying, that you get engulfed into that cocoon, that aura or balloon of love energy. That is the Chaitanya, that is the Guru blessing, that is the universal consciousness. And if we have some young people in this audience, you have seen the airbender and firebender and all those things that your modern days Chinese Japanese stories are telling you. This is nothing different than that. When Swamiji says this, And I remember my conversation with Swamiji in 2003 Guru Purnima at the Baba Swami Dham. It was being constructed at that time, and Swamiji was saying that a guru can merge his five elements into the nature's five elements, and that is the way always Himalayan gurus live in Himalayas. So that is something that we got as a live illustration, and we have to believe it because we are going through this. And not one person, not in one place, but different places, different people are experiencing this. This element of uh, water and air in the space, when it creates the Om, that is why we are saying Om. But again, this is elemental formation that is happening by the grace of divine. So I look at it and I try to understand and explain to people around me based on what I have learned and what I have experienced. Beautiful Anubhuti. And I think anybody who are attending today's program, they always wish that Swamiji will give us the opportunity, something like this one day, and we will be able to enjoy such Anubhuti. I want to ask you, please tell us about the book that you are writing. And I want to tell the audience that this is the official first time we are sharing these images publicly. And when Girishji agreed with us for this interview, it was not all finalized. But just yesterday, so many things got finalized. And this is again an anubhuti for all of us together to witness with Girishji that how Guru energy is making all of us medium in this divine Guru Karya. Girishji, tell us about your book.
Yeah, I had actually started writing this book. I'll tell you, go way back to 2009, 10. I used to, start translate Swamiji's messages and put them up on Facebook. And Ramani ji noticed that. And 2010 Bangalore Shibir, he met me. I was introduced to him by Dharmesh Bhai, who at that time had done a Shibir for our office staff. That is how I came to know Dharmesh ji. Then in Bangalore, like I said, I was traveling all over the place like Jack in the Box, just jumping from here to there, all over the place.
Right.
So in Bangalore, I was introduced to Ramani as a chartered accountant. At that point in time, I didn't know his relationship to Swamiji. So he was introduced as a CA. And then he connected on Facebook and he saw my translations and he said, "Arey, you are doing good work. Why don't you go onto the editorial board?" And in 2010, I was selected for the Sevadari Shibir. And Sadhaks used to tell me, "You are very new, you won't get selected." Arey, I told the Acharya, "You just give my name. No, tumhara kaam karo yaar. Please do your work. You give the name. Selected, not selected is not for you to decide."
Not your problem. Yes, absolutely right.
So in the last lot, my name came and I had gone there. And that time, Sharmila Patil ji was the
Area head.
Pramukh Acharya
for Maharashtra, I believe.
Yeah, and Umesh Paiji was the managing trustee. So at that time, I had submitted my name as a volunteer. I told her that, "Boss, I am a chartered accountant. If there is anything in my line of work, accounts or anything, let me. You can, use my services. And I'm pretty good at English. So if there is any translation related work, do let me know." But nothing happened. So because nothing happened officially, I was doing everything unofficially.
Right.
I was putting it on Facebook. It got noticed. Then Ramani ji introduced me to Naimisha ji. Naimisha ji then got me on. That's how I got onto the editorial board. And then Ramani told me one day that Swamiji reads your blog. I said, "Oh God." Because that time I used to use my blog to vent out all the things in society which used to affect me badly. So I used to write on the blog and get it out of my system.
Right.
The day Ramani told me that, I stopped venting on the blog.
So in a way, you were being protected by Gurudev to stay in the positive vibes only.
No, it is. I don't look at it that way, but I didn't want Swamiji to, get the feeling that I'm throwing a lot of crap of no, it is criticizing the system,
Right,
because
right.
quite a few of my blogs or the themes I used to write on used to get come into the lead editorial of the Times of India 3-4 days later at the,
Wow.
the topic or theme I used to write on.
Somebody was stealing your ideas or your concepts.
I don't know whether it's killing or whatever, because it was not a widely read blog, but energy
Uh-huh.
works in very funny ways. So if you're thinking something's happening, it's all connected.
Yes, absolutely right.
It's all connected. So I don't look at it that way. But in 2010, 2011, I think it was once I got onto the editorial board, then I started translating Swamiji's discourses on the fly, sitting in the audience, take up
Uh-huh.
a pad, and as Swamiji spoke, I used to write it down
Very nice.
and then put it on the blog,
Hmm.
which became a kind of link to the international sadhaks, because they used to get it very fast. And then one of Ishnath Singh told me subsequently, I took that English translation straight from your blog. I said, wow. Once I started writing, and Swamiji started saying in his discourse, लिखो
Uh-huh.
ना, तुम भी लिखो ना, तुम्हारी हर साधक की अनुभूति की किताब बन सकती है, तुम भी लिखो ना. And he said it with such love. I thought he was telling him me only to write.
Right, right, right.
So, and every sadhak has enough anubhutis to fill a book. Believe me, it's just that you need to sit down and get down and do it.
With you. I agree with you.
So in 2018, I actually started writing the intro, this, that, and it used to get stuck. And then this godsend happened, the lockdown.
Uh-huh.
For me, it was a godsend. Means I've literally enjoyed myself in this lockdown. I lost weight, 7-8 kgs doing housework. Means I used to cycle so much, run so much. My weight never used to fluctuate more than 2 or 3 kilos.
Wow.
I lost like 10 kgs. I'm down to
Wow.
66 kilos.
So this was not Corona year. This was Corona year
Yeah,
for
this was
you.
absolute Karuna here, doing housework. Yeah. So I was thinking I should advertise in my housing complex that you got a chartered accountant who can do the BJP work, Bartan Jhadu Pocha.
Without any party. So just to clear that joke for Dennis who is translating, Swamiji during the December Mahashibir mentioned that 2020 was the Corona year because of the Corona pandemic in the world. But for those who were practicing Samarpan meditation, it became a Karuna year. Karuna is the word in Sanskrit for grace or blessings. So for all of us, it really became blessing because we had three major events online: Guru Purnima, Chaitanya Mahotsav, and Mahashibir at the end, during which more than 50,000 sadhaks throughout all over the world in three days and 8 days events were participating. To be honest, I took 8 days off during the Mahashibir, and we were watching Shibir twice because the Chaitanya was so much that we enjoyed that. And Girishji, you really, how you say, took good advantage that you were able to reduce the weight.
Means by April I had finished the Mahashivratri blog, which I posted, and then I sent it to Swamiji, and Swamiji posted it on the Telegram channel.
Wow.
And by July, was writing, and I finished writing it. By July, I had done the writing, and it had gone to a like 350 pages of A4 size.
Wow.
The 350 pages of A4 size for a spiritual book, nobody is going to read, because when it goes into book format, it will probably become 600. So I had a friend who was a content writer in my earlier company, and she had mentioned to me that she's writing books, ghost writing for people. So I had requested her whether she'll be able to edit this book.
Uh-huh.
So she took to editing. She was supposed to give it to me in September, but something or the other kept happening with her. She fell sick, her husband fell sick, her mother-in-law fell sick, they had to change house. And I told her, don't worry, before March it will get done. I told her this in August. You don't worry about it. This is energy at play, so whatever is happening to you, it's fine. Don't take stress over my book.
Uh-huh.
So in in January, she started sending me chapter after chapter on Google Docs, and I used to correct and
Back.
send it back by, I think, end of Jan. It was done, and then she said, I've got other books to do. I had asked her actually to write a small note on what her experience on doing this. She says, I really won't find the time because I've got 3 books to deliver before March. I said, don't worry. And she said, I will not be able to help you. So I just purchased a book software
Mm-hmm.
online on Instagram. I kept seeing that ad kept popping up like they want me to buy, and then so I just bought that. And today I completed the page setting, and I got this design book cover also today.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Guruma sent the about the author yesterday. I told her, I requested her, please give it to me in your own handwriting. Don't give it to me in my on WhatsApp, because our sadhaks are very suspicious characters. They'll think I've written it myself. No, seriously. And she laughed and she says, you're right. And she put a tick mark. What you said is correct.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes it is not just that we want people to believe what we are saying. It is because the world is going into that direction, and we want to protect. And we want. Swamiji says very clearly that adhikrut is very important in Guru Karya. The same way, authenticity is very important in what we are doing. And when we are doing like this, I think we are setting good example for the next generation to follow. And not just blindly we are believing based on knowledge, information, and experience, all three together in our life. So that is amazing what you are saying. And this book, we are hearing a lot of beautiful comments about how beautiful that Om has been incorporated in the logo, in the book's cover page here. So it's amazing. We can't wait for getting the book in our hands. And what made you give the title Spirituality and Me, The Journey Continues?
Because it does continue.
Yes, that is what
The,
Swami says.
the journey continues. The journey never ends.
Yes.
The
So
journey
I think the journey never ends, and the time, if it allows, we will continue talking to you for long. But before we let you go, I would like to know, on behalf of our audience, would you like to give any special message? Because many times people say that, oh, you guys have so many beautiful anubhutis and experiences, and we want that we can have something like this. What is the best way that we can progress fast in spirituality? What is your answer on that?
and there is no shortcut.
Absolutely.
There is no shortcut to spirituality. It means it is sadhana, whether it is a spiritual sadhana, whether it is your musical sadhana, whether it is your anything requires practice. If you're a sportsman, you require to train hard. For music, you require to play your music, keep practicing till your, if you're a guitar player, till your fingers cut. You need to sing. If you're a singer, you need to do your riyaz. It's all about practice, and unless you are regular and dedicated and you want something that desperately, but
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't, that's not correctly expressed actually. Because in spirituality desire has no place. So it is something which should come from inside you, that okay, this is, I'm on the right path, and let us see where it takes. Swamiji has promised everybody moksha.
Right.
But that doesn't mean he's going to take you there. You have to go, and moksha is not something you are going to receive when you die. It's something. It's a state which you achieve when you are living. After your death, there's nothing.
Right.
So it's a
Right.
place. It's a state where you are in the now, 24/7. There is no past. There is no future. This is the only true moment. Is this moment?
And it has to come by experience only, it has to come by practice only, and it can come only when you make yourself available into this. It is like Swamiji says that Guru is a light. He can show you the path, but you will have to walk. You will have to do your own karma to get rid of karma. That is the only way we can move into this and progress onto this.
Just one more thing I would like to add here is
Yes, 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 please.
during this time I coined a phrase. Detached attachment means in this means you don't need to lose attachment to anything. You be attached, but at the same time you detach yourself from that attachment, where your own ego or your own I-ness doesn't come into play. You watch it like a witness. The attachment is there, the detachment. You watch everything from a distance. You love everybody, make everybody happy, have fun, laugh, do everything you want, but don't become attached to it. Don't become emotionally involved. The moment you're emotionally involved, you're done for, because then your ego comes into play. Then, oh, malkiyat, oh, property, this is my wife, this is my husband, my, and then, like Swamiji says in Hindi, uh, मैं, you become a goat, bakri ban jate ho. So
It's
be
very,
detached, be attached also, but
yeah.
and enjoy the journey. The journey is everything.
Right, right, right. So I believe, I remember Swamiji's words that Kamal ko Guru banao, meaning that make lotus your Guru. Lotus is always attached to the ground, in the dirty water, dirty pond, but still the flower on the top is always pure. So that is the state of crown chakra. When we develop the crown chakra, we are living as a physical body, grounded on the earth, in this society, everywhere, but we are still detached, meaning that we don't have expectation, we don't have attachment of this is mine and this is me and this is I and this is what I want. No, everything will be gone. You will be living everywhere and you will not be engrossed with the materialism or the illusionary values that world has taught us from childhood. So slowly it will come with practice only. Just by listening the story and writing and talking loud will not change anything. But you have to practice, you have to practice, you have to practice. That is called sadhana. As Girishji have explained very beautifully, that for the marathon, he is running so long and still he has a dream that he want to go to next stage. That is his dream. But for this dream, he's practicing, he's doing this. We have to practice meditation daily. We have to regularly meditate personally for ourselves, collectively, as well as if you have opportunity to do Guru Karya, try to involve so that you don't attach in the material world. This is my personal take of Guru Karya as well as meditation. And collectivity helps you a lot because when you come across some sadhaks who are really nasty or bad nature, it is challenging you to get rid of your own negativity. That is the way I evolved in spirituality, that when we come across odd people, it is our opportunity to let go our negativity and evolve. So very beautifully said, so many things, Girish ji. I will pass it to Shefali ji and then we'll come back with the question answer.
Thank you so much, Girish ji and Hitendra ji. It was a beautiful session, and we still have the Q&A. So one thing our Gurudev Sri Shiv Gopanand Swami ji says is, travel inwards at least once, dive into the ocean, and surrender the control of your body to the soul. And for the same, Samarpan has various ashrams across the globe, and we are very blessed that we have our own ashram of Americas. Isn't that amazing? Ashram for Americas is located in Quebec, Canada. It is spread to 10 acres in a scenic natural environment, which you can see in the pictures on the slide. And these are just few glimpses of its beauty. The ashram is filled with beautiful positive energy, which just uplifts each one who visits the place. And the most importantly, let me share with you the reason which makes the Ashram of America special is the murti of our Pujya Swamiji, which is located in the ashram. It is not a small thing. If you stop for a second and think, when Guruji goes into 45 days of isolation, that is when he flows the universal energy in the murtis. And he always says that now there is no difference left between him and the murti. Is not that divine? It is out of the world and very unimaginary for me. And these murtis will be mediums for coming next 800 years. And in year 2009 is when Guruji blessed us by activating the murti for Americas. And that is the one located at the ashram. What a grace of Guru Shaktis we have. I would pray that each soul here would visit the ashram one day and bathe in the Chaitanya Mahotsav. And we want to inform everyone about this once in lifetime opportunity. Thanks to Guru Shaktis, the construction of permanent Guru Shakti Dham will start this year. And for the same, how about we all become part of this home of divine energies by donating and in the process develop our bhav of giving? Donations are super welcome for any amount. The Guru Karya team started recently this beautiful campaign of donating for a brick. For the same, we can check out Canada Ashram website. Its donation page has all the information, and the page has been built with beautiful collective bhav and also shows the status of how many bricks have been arranged so far. And we are very happy to share that 261 bricks have been arranged for the phase 1 out of the 600 bricks required by 11th of March. So thank you to all the souls who have already donated, and thank you fellow meditators who are listening today, and may we all stay connected. Jai Baba Swami.
Jai Baba Swami. And I would like to say that today's session was such a beautiful Chaitanya-filled session. Thank you, Girishji, to make it possible. We are all soaked in Chaitanya right now. And if you won't believe it, it's been raining here in California. I mean, in San Jose. I don't know about the rest of California, but in San Jose, ever since the session started, it's such a beautiful, beautiful energy. And this is the first question that has come up. Could you tell us a little about your journey to Himalayas?
My journey to the Himalayas, I can't tell you little, it's a lot. You can read it on the blog. girishborkar.blogspot.com. I'll put it in the chat.
Sure.
But basically we had gone to Mahavatar Babaji's caves. It was a divine journey, means everything just happened. Means we really didn't have to do anything much, it just happened.
Wow.
In fact, when we were about to land in Delhi, we were flying over Ajmer, and the pilot said, we are just flying over the Ajmer Dargah. When the moment he said that, the whole body became cold, like, you know, a gush of energy from the Dargah. Kya ho raha hai? It was indicative from that point, means that it was like Swamiji and Babaji were carrying us in their arms, and it was awesome. Unbelievable trip. And there were indications that this trip has to happen. So there are a couple of blogs why that journey happened, and the journey and the trip to the Himalayas. There were indications that the call is coming.
So another question, Giriji, in times of stress, be related to office, home, how do you stay calm and focused without fear and thoughts?
Fear, Samarpan Sadhak feeling fear, that is a new one. You can't a Samarpan Sadhak and fear it's a contradiction in terms. But I don't believe in taking stress, I believe in giving it. So so stress is not something I've lived with all my life. There have been times when there is stress, yes, but the energy is always come and help you out. But just remember, you are part of a very positive collectivity. It's a massive collectivity. Just stay connected to the collectivity, and you will find out that your stress just dissolves.
That is true. And in this year, actually, we have seen that even though it has been a very stressful year for many, but at least for Samarpan Sadhaks, it has been an amazing year. And we have got all the connections that we have got through online activities going on. It's amazing. The next question is from Sonalji. Can you please tell us your translation work, Guru Karya? Which books or messages you have translated so far? Also, do you have any idea when Swamiji's seventh Himalaya Samvartan book is coming?
I've translated Himalaya Samarpan 5. I've done the review for 3 and 4. I've done the review for 6 also. 7 is in progress as of now. It's being typed in Hindi, and the translation work in the other language is ongoing. I've translated Ma 1. I've translated a couple of Anushthan messages, books from the Anushthan.
Okay.
Yep.
Another question from Sonalji. Did you ever feel you developed an ego being close to Swamiji and doing such important Guru Karya? If yes, how did you manage it?
I actually have never considered Guru Karya to be important or not important. Means I have always treated Guru Karya as something which it's a blessing. So you take it as a blessing. And there is one thing I do always, day in, day out, right from day one since I joined Samarpan, that whatever Guru Karya I pray during meditation towards the end of it, that whatever Guru Karya you have to do through me, please do through me. And whatever Guru Karya has to happen through me, let it happen. So that helps. It doesn't give you ego because you never have the feeling that you are doing it.
Wow, so true. And yeah, it's ego is a big problem, anyways. Samarpan
I've always been shameless. So when you're shameless, you generally don't. You tend to take whatever somebody says to you with a thick skin, so it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
And if somebody says something behind my back, it really doesn't affect me.
Wow. That's nice. There's another related one. How do you manage and balance work and Guru Karya? What time do you wake up? What is your routine?
I used to wake up at 4:30 earlier.
Oh, wow.
And 4:30, then morning exercise, go for a run. That is before I started this translation work. When the translation work, I got translation work for book 5, I think in 2012-13. So the only time I had, I used to leave for office at 8:30. And once I left for office, then the day just flew. So the only time which was available, you have to wake up earlier. So that's how I started waking up at 3. So if I want to do something which I like, running is a part of it. Cycling now. So wake up at 3, sit for meditation, whatever time it takes, then get into the kitchen, boil the milk, make the tea, chop vegetables if that is there on the whiteboard. So by the time the wife is up, my first 4-5 hours in the morning are in silence. And if you can manage to stay with yourself in silence for a long time, you have to be comfortable with yourself.
Yes.
My advice to all you guys is learn to be happy with yourself. If you are happy with yourself, you can be happy with anybody.
Yes. Such a beautiful thought. So true. And um, and your day starts that early. I mean, it is. I think it's required also, because we have seen that if we want to do all the things that we really wish to do in 24 hours seems less, or the daytime seems so short. And for samarpan and spiritual activity, morning is the best time. So I know even over here, Sonalji also wakes up really early, and she gets a lot of time to do a lot of her samarpan activity in the early morning only. So I think that's a good takeaway for people, that you need to get up early. Another question from Shefali ji. Giriji, please share with us the ways sadhaks across the world can stay connected with Gurudev, Guru energies, especially in Anushthan times.
So staying connected is, you need to meditate. That's all. And if you don't let your mind wander in the past or future or take stress, you will always be connected. I have never felt that I should personally be in the physical presence of Swamiji. I always feel he's around here somewhere, all the time, 24/7. So I don't think he's away at all. It's not only Swamiji, there are three other energies who are around. I've got Sant Naneshwar with me, Shirdi Sai Baba with me, Osho with me, and Swamiji. Mahavatar Babaji comes once in a while, but that energy is very powerful.
So you can separate them out, the energies of different gurus?
I feel they are there. So maybe it's a mental thing. I don't know.
Yes, then that would be a very strong energy, I'm sure. All the combination of gurus, it's amazing.
In the olden days, they used to call them your guardian angels.
Yeah. Right. That's why I can feel that you're stress free and fear free and everything free because you have the guardian angels.
Nah, my book is not available in other languages. English में करते करते जान निकल गई. It's
Be the next step, I guess, after English, other language.
I don't know if somebody wants to translate it. If they like it, they'll translate it. Means if there is a demand for translation, then let's see what can be done.
When Gurudev is physically in front of us, what tips should we follow so that we gain the highest Chaitanya and Baba has nil problems from us?
Yeah, when you go in front of Swamiji, just ensure that you don't have any serious sickness. And when you're in front of him, try to stay as thoughtless as possible. My personal experience is whenever I'm in his presence, the mind goes blank, because the moment you enter his aura, there's an eraser on the mind. So don't go with any expectations, is what I can say. Because the Guru energies always give you what you need, not what you want. So just be happy that you are in divine presence. That's it.
Giriji, can you share the process for someone to apply for translation Guru Karya and what can a sadhak expect in this Guru Karya?
You have to write to edit.madhuchaitanya@gmail.com,
Okay.
giving how much time you can devote to translation. They'll probably send you a sample for translating, and if it's up to the mark, they'll revert.
Oh,
But there is a conflict, because people from the Americas feel that the India translation is in India is not what people in the US understand. So I can't figure this thing out, but That is the feedback I get. But whatever we do in India is based on British English, and what happens in America is American English. So maybe that is where the conflict lies.
True. So yeah, I guess anybody can apply for
Yeah,
translation.
anybody can apply for translation. Anybody can apply for translation. Earlier, all the applications used to be put in the editorial board meeting, and whoever was selected, their names would be mentioned to Puja Guruma. So, but my experience with the youngsters when I was the section head was that they would want to do Guru Karya, but they would not see. Madhu Chaitanya work is time bound. It's a magazine.
Mhm.
So if somebody gives you something, they expect it back within that time frame. We are
Yeah.
working to timeline. So if that doesn't come, then we have to then give it to somebody else on a rush job to get it done. So if you can seriously devote time to this Guru Karya and can deliver on time, then you are most welcome. That dedication is required.
You see, if you are in silence, do you get thoughts? How do you stay in nirvichar sthiti?
I don't get too many thoughts. I basically I don't have brains, so how the hell can I get thoughts? I always say my brains are in my knees because those are the only things which pain. I've never got a headache.
I think your state is so good that you don't get thoughts. Otherwise, anybody with your intellect has lots of brains. Another one.
No, I don't use any apps for translation.
Okay.
You can't translate spiritual books with using apps because instead of jam, you'll get chutney.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the applicants had used an app to translate, and it came out with such junk. It was unbelievable.
Oh my God.
A test page was sent, and she sent it translated, used an app, and sent it back. And
Yeah, and also the bhav is missing, right? If you use the app.
yeah, bhav is fine as long as you get the translation right. My personal experience was when I was doing the fifth book was it was unbelievable because the more you read, the more insight you get. Because to get it right, you have to understand what Swamiji is saying from his point of view. Most of the translations earlier used to be more like literal translations and not the sense in which Swamiji was, saying those things. So now things have become much, much, much better.
I want to add something to this answer. It is with little sense of humor though, but going back to the real value, like we have learned in the answer from Girish ji about the flow of consciousness book translation when he was working, that was a soul level translation. He was connecting with Swamiji's Chaitanya at the soul level. That's why he was able to add the words that were not mentioned in the real Hindi words. So when it happens at the soul level, it is requiring app, double AP instead of APP, app. So this is app to app translation, soul to soul translation, not app translation. Because that's why Girish ji said that नहीं तो चटनी चाहिए और जैम मिल जाएगा आपको.
Yes, so true. It's funny, but some of the translation that you do through apps comes out really funny.
Yeah. I want to add, while Girishji was answering about the presence of heavy energy of Mahavatar Babaji, I just want to introduce to some of the people on the Western world that many of you are aware of the Paramhamsa Yogananda, the autobiography of a yogi, the book. Mahavatar Baba is from the same lineage, okay, the first guru of that lineage, and many people around the globe, regardless of their background or their source where they are living, they have experienced the presence of Mahavatar Babaji's energy, and literally some people have seen as a visual energy of Mahavatar Babaji. Also, Swamiji during the 2020 December Mahashibir have explained this as a sadhak from Canada was asking, how did you recognize the energy of Sai Baba when you were giving that Shibir, and realize, because you said that you never met Sai Baba before. So Swamiji says that when you are doing meditation and you are deep in the consciousness, transcending beyond mind and body, and suddenly someone come and hold the rose flower near your nose, what will happen? You will smell the fragrance without even seeing the flower. The same kind of experience on a soul level happens when you are in the transcendental state or thoughtless state, and you experience that energy. That is how Girishji is experiencing, and that is what I have experienced also about different energy when I was talking about higher level of angels or spiritual mentors who are trying to help you. What we call guru in the Eastern world is the same thing what they call angels or ascended masters in the Western world.
And yeah, I think this is the difference between senior sadhaks and the ones that are still, trying to reach there. So
In fact, Girishji has said very clearly, the journey continues. Nobody is senior, nobody is junior, but we evolve through this every day, and we have to keep an open mind and open heart to learn from every experience. Because like in today's interview itself, we have learned so many things from Girishji that we did not have before. So keep an open mind, be willing to surrender and let go. Then only you will create the space to allow the Guru Chaitanya to come into our life. Thank you very much, Girishji. I would request Vireshji to come forward for the vote of thanks and introducing the team behind making this program successful.
Thank you, Hitendra Bhai, Hitendraji. Jai Baba Swami, everyone. What an energy-filled session this has been. Thank you. Jai Atmeshwar Girishji.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jai Atmeshwar. Thank you very much for your spiritually inspired session that we just witnessed. Many sadhaks, including me, had goosebumps and experienced great energy throughout the session. You said you were mischievous when you were young. It is hard to imagine you being mischievous person, Girishji.
You just get to know me closely, you'll find out.
Naughty to hai, masti to hai, bhai.
You were lucky that through your uncle you were introduced to divine souls at the very young age. Also, you have been running at the lightning speed from the very young age. In spirituality, at the same lightning speed, you have risen to a pinnacle in a short period of time. You also rightly said that fit physical body houses a healthy soul, and in your case, that healthy soul picked up the cues at the right time and got you transported to the sixth dimension when you are listening to the audio of the 8-day session, Surat, I believe. You shared many great anubhutis, including hearing Swamiji's Asharira Vani, what we call Asharira Vani, Vani with no Sharira attached to it, right in your head, and received cold energy from the thin air. The experiences that you shared actually brought goosebumps to many of us. While preparing for today's interview, earlier we were going through several of your photos of your younger life, of your life at your young age. And you said participating in this event has refreshed your old memories. The very purpose of this event, the event called This is Samarpan, is to refresh the memories of our guest sadhak and inspire the souls of the rest of the sadhaks attending the event. And I'm sure that definitely happened today. Thank you for answering all the questions and guiding the seekers who have been attending today's event. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the volunteers who tirelessly worked for the completion of today's event. First of all, Shefali ji, who started the event and made sure that everybody's voice, everybody's audio, video, everything is going perfect. And she also gave us the information about the ongoing work at the ashram of the construction of the Guru Shakti Dham. So please go to the website samarpanmeditation.ca to get more information on the updates of the collection of the money as well as the construction of the Guru Shakti Dham. Also, Rasika ji spent a lot of time in putting together all the slides for today's. She has a great art. She, with no time, she clicks here and clicks there and then gets the slides ready within no time. Thank you, Rasika ji, for your great skills. And also the team, the young team, Sagar ji, Aishwarya ji, and Dara ji, all of them have been doing a wonderful Guru Karya throughout our events that have been happening here in North America. And thanks also to Sonali ji for giving information about the upcoming events. Hitendra ji, of course, you are the guiding light for all of the young people, and a great work. Thank you again. Thank you, everyone. And with this, I once again thank Girish ji for giving us such a great session today. Thank you, Girish ji. Jai Baba Swami. And Jai Atmeshwar.
Jai Atmeshwar.
Jai Atmeshwar. We are nothing but at the lotus feet of Gurudev, one little drop of his blessings. And we cannot do this without Gurudev and our audience. So this program is getting its momentum and success because of the audience support and the love that you are showing to us. And I want to request all of you to connect with the beautiful souls in your community, in your country, so that we can join with them and we can bring their story to many more people like Girish ji's story today. So Girish ji, lot of love and Gurudev's blessing for joining us today. And we will have more story to share with you in the future. Please continue connected with us.
Yes, sure. Just one little thing.
Yes, absolutely.
I put some posts as a Swami G, Swami -G. Swati Sharan shared on Guru Karya International. That Swami G is the name given to me by Ramani. He's also a funny character. He said,
okay.
Swami and -G.
Okay, beautiful.
So those whatever posts come as Swami G, those are from me.
Oh, that's very nice. Something new to learn. Yeah, thank you. You have been very jolly and take it easy kind of person, and that makes our team to work with you as a fun guest to work. And really appreciated. In the beginning, you were saying that, "Arey, hum sirf gappe lagayenge, baat karenge." But look, today it came out to be such a beautiful program with so many photos. I think you got inspired by Gurudev to share more and more of your, how you say, treasure that you were hiding behind. But today, our audience got opportunity to know you as a different, common man with such a high spiritual outlook, and again, being a professional with such a light heart and mind is very important for all of us, because then we enjoy the life the way you are enjoying. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
And we are thankful to Swamiji for giving us such a beautiful family.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Jai
Absolutely.
Baba Swami to that.
Jai Atmeshwar.
Jai Atma.
Jai Atmeshwar.
Jai Atmeshwar. Cheers.
आप सभी को मेरे खूब खूब आशीर्वाद। नमस्कार।